Hi there, welcome back. Today I'll show you a very simple way to build these two muscle lines and build some of these surfaces in to go ahead and complete our model. Let's begin. What I like to do in these areas is to put these edges on a plane, which means that it's going to look nice and straight in all views and it's not going to be messing. That's the front one. Now for that, what I will do, I'll take one straight curve, snap it in here. Let's do a nice approximation of this. So degree 1 curve along this section. I'll extend these two, so I'll get the theory point in. So there we go. And I'll do the same here at the rear. So let's take this last section line. So we see around here we've got the radius. So I'll take area just before it. There. And then a very short one here. The reason why we do this is we're approximating a pretty curved area with degree 1 curves, so you'll need to be as close as possible to the start of the radius to be as precise as it can get. So from here, the theory point, I've got the other one, so I'll bring in one straight line all the way from to here. Perfect. And I'll do on that straight line, I'll build another longer line, let's say height, and I will build a monorail, so one generation along one curve there. See, we've got that in. Let's keep this simple. So now we take that CV and we move it in the Y direction to the point where, let's say in top view, that radius is intersected midway all along its path at that plane. Cool. So we know that's the plane on which this line is sitting. And the other thing that I will do, the curve that I've just used to generate this plane, copy paste it, move it out in this view, and I'll turn up the degree first, degree 2, that CV there, so put it on one plane. Select these CVs, move them, and Control and middle mouse button, snap it onto that vertical plane through that point. Cool. So I've got that. Let's take that TV there. Let's turn on some colors in here so we know we can see everything easier. So I'll lift that point. So with the move tool, I'll lift it, slide it along here, because we see it's a nice long curve with a strong acceleration in that area. So what I'll do, I'll bring the CV roughly where the acceleration, let's say the midpoint of that acceleration is, then the peak of the acceleration. That means where we are turning into that area there. You can also turn on curvature evaluation. So we've got a strong acceleration there. Now we turn up degree the CV of the curve here. So let's go degree 3. And now we move this the normal direction with the CV move tool. And what we're trying to do is roughly approximate the color difference between pink and the plane with that curve. So this can stay constant, and we will have to have this constant distance that we've got here, more or less. So this one can move out a little bit or deviate here, so we need a higher degree of that curve. Go 5, got CV there, pump it up, area, this one here as well, and then we will slide this one forward, this one as well, this one as well. This one can come down ever so slightly. This will go up. So let's go with degree 7 there. This will give us a higher CV count, which will allow us to control this area better. Normal movement again. Higher up here, lower down here. You'll also notice that I'm using the squeeze view, which is helping me get a better look on what's going on. So let's see if we can move a little bit down. We've got inflection. That means that we have an inflection. So that is too low. That means that we can bring this one lower as well. This one can come lower as well. And this one needs to go higher up. And it needs to slide forward. This one needs to do the same thing. This one as well. This way we try to distribute the CVs in a nice and ordered fashion. So we'll go with, that would be the biggest distance, and this one smaller. And we're getting to the point. And we do that there. Here we can bring this back. You can see that is your area is a bit flatter there. This will come down as well. This will have to slide even more forward, pushing the whole area to the accent that we are trying to get there. Here we're flattening. Now here we can come down because we're getting to the peak there, that curve. Here we're coming down, back into the normal view. Since we did some sliding there, we might need to slide this higher up. So we've got the direction change and the core of that accent in that area. This one can come back a little bit, taking away some of the tension. There we go. This one going to go up a little bit. What I'm trying to do is have here that motion, and it goes nice and smooth and flat again. Go back to this view. We see that this one can come down lower. This one can go higher up. This can come down. And this one now, I'm going to slide it. So the normal movement with the middle mouse button that allows us to slide the CV. It still keeps the character in that area. This one can go in a little bit. one could argue that we could have done this in two curves, so have one theory point and the other one in a blend, but sometimes it's just a lot easier to control when you have a long curve. Others might beg to differ. This is the approach I'm going to take in this area. So let's bring in the accent there. This one can move out. So I like to keep it pretty constant there. I can slide this one down as well. Slide this one that way. And this exercise, I'm going to accept the curve as is. So we've got, let's say, everything condensed in this area. So what I'll try to do is have this one up to this point. I'll have this one the longest distance. This one needs to this one can come down ever so slightly. Back to these two. Looking good. Good. So longest one, shortest one up to that point, shortest one, longer one. Go ahead and slide this one for distribution there. This one can slide back ever so slightly. So we're transitioning from this short one to the longest ones in a nice and even manner. We need to slide forward, so place it roughly in the mirror area. So this curve will serve us that area there. What I'll do, I'll take that there, make it a little bit longer. This curve, I'll make it also longer. This will give us a bigger plane. Now what I'll do, I'll extend this curve. So, because we will have our theory actually there and not at that point, but that will be a lot more difficult to approximate. And what I will do now is also in this area, extend that curve till we meet this radius here. You see that area there, and now I'll extend the one up to that point there. So this way we have a curve which is going to meet up with this other one that's starting off for this muscle. And here's the easy trick that I mentioned. Now I'm going to project in the side view because that's how we work. In there, side view, and I'll turn on curves option. So it's going to generate me a curve, and I'll keep it one that fits my original one. So this curve, convection curve layer, and these curves here, and so these curves, select them, and I'll right click here this layer, click on new from selected, new layer from selected objects, and now I have a new layer which I'll call just curve. That's what I'm going to use to generate our surfaces there. So that one's done. Now I'll apply the same principle in this area. You can see exactly the same kind of topology. So let's see this one. Curve till it meets up with the middle of that radius there, and I'll use that. Let's say this set of sections to generate the other plane. or the reference for that other plane. So anyway, short degree 1, extend it, even do that one there. And another way you can do this is find a view where it looks like it's sitting on the plane, and then pick that curve, generate a draft off of it, and then you go into the generation vector. So the draft vector, we'll use the view. Make sure you're got just a length on it. So let's say 500. Have it as a double-sided surface and single surface. There you go. So we have that there. It's also a quick way to do it, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to change the direction of that plane. So have it a bit longer. And we want to curve from that point up to here. Complete the draft. I'll do it once again. On rail. And now you can see that it's a lot easier. Just the other way would have been you keep working with the draft, you change the view, and then you have to refresh the vector. What I'll do here, I'm not agreeing fully with that, so what I'll do, I'll take that CV and move it X, Y direction, and down till that radius, or most of it, will sit on that middle of that radius. Most of it will sit on that plane. Once it starts deviating, that's where we know, okay, that radius will start from that point. So we've got here one line, the second one, and then we've got a blend there. So with these, going through the middle, seems like it's going here through the middle of this radius, and here, in, down, straight up. Here you can take the same approach. If you want to project it in Z, be my guest. That means you work that curve in this view and then project it onto the plane. I'll just take that curve, and for the sake of this exercise, there are two ways of doing it. I'll do it in Z. That, degree 2, take the CV, move it out or forward, because we've got here the accent, or at least that's how I interpret that shape. And what I'm trying to do is try to get in as much as I can off of that line in a degree 2 curve. Then I'll go ahead and turn up the CV count. Now, 3. So that CV point, and now with Control and the right mouse button or the left one, selecting through the points there. So let's move this one in direction. Try to make it look clean. Here, let's go degree 5. We'll flatten this area here. Might even add an inflection point to have like a lead in into this area. Try this one. There we go. So it's accelerating into that area there. This one, We'll slide it with a normal slide. Option here, as I said, I want to add action point there. This one comes out. Sometimes you'll have these inflection points in these areas. Sometimes you won't. Let's see. Here. Actually, what I'll do, I'll just stay away from that inflection point. Might be a mistake in the model. So a lot of it depends on how the model was generated. Since this is a polygon model, anyone, so it's not originated by Aston Martin, it's not a scan of an 177. I will take the assumption that that might be a little mistake in the model. Might be wrong, but we'll take that assumption now. Let's add some acceleration there. This one. It's out. Out as well. Gonna have a nice and full shape here as well. Perfect. Let's extend this curve here. And now we'll just protect that line. Let's move higher up. These CVs. That's a control and right mouse button next to that CV, so that puts it straight in that view. And then we will project it onto here using that line. Have it as a curve. So this goes on to the projection curve certain layer. We can hide that one away. We can template these. So use here display template. That means you're not gonna select it by accident. And also these two, let's turn off the CVs so we don't move them or select them by accident. And on the curves, we'll do the same thing. Just keeps everything nice and tidy. And those curves go onto the curve layer. Cool. So then see how we generate some surfaces out of them. For the shoulder area, we already have the DLO curve here. So what I'll do, I'll approximate this section here, meaning that I'm gonna go up degree 1, degree 1 here. Keep the section simple, complicated. And then we'll take here one curve and get the theory in. So let's take these curves here. So only these trim areas are extrusions, so I'll profile this set of curves along the contour there. You will see that here I'm deviating a little bit, but I will assume I'm building this one correctly. So what I can do now is simplest tool that you can use to generate the skin. Here in surfaces. Find the skin first. I'm using normally my keys. Got in. Top. Use skin if you want to. Okay, add some crown. Make it round. Edge. In here. And then we can see how it's going. You can see this surface is a lot rounder here. You can also see that I'm deviating quite a bit. So my DLO curve is sitting pretty well on the greenhouse there. This is the surface of it. See the inside pretty well. So what I'll try to do is get in that character there. Come back in default mode. So I'm getting pretty close there. Curve this edge. Keep the skin. Make this out aerial off of these two. And right there. To the back in. What I'll do, I'll just flatten this area here. It will have to transition between the two areas. Like this one. Ever so slightly up. And there. This surface to move here. Expected layer. I'll call this work. So that surface is in there. Mesh. There. Mesh. There. It's going also. It's twisting from this area to that one, and that area is a lot flatter. And now let's try to approximate this area here. But what I'll do, I'll get this curve, which is sitting far off this, but the advantage that we have is as soon as we've got these surfaces and our history, we can still adjust the curve and we will get that. So I'll paste in. Let's see, in there. Here. We are getting close there, but remember, we still got the projection curve, and that curve there is still live. So we can take that CV move tool, bring it closer to the edge there. This one as well. This one as well. Let's get it closer to that area there. There we go. Sitting really well on it. This curve out as the inboard. What to do is also